So it seems to me like sort of the flow over time was historically there were essentially three, four vendors with very clear expectations, but limited capabilities in terms of speed and size. The second era was very much essentially like homegrown. It's open source in your company. You have to figure out how to use it and build upon it. You can make it exactly what you want, but kind of difficult to enforce, limited in the ability for business and engineers to collaborate because business people don't understand like the tech, basically like stuff you're running on Linux, right?
Yeah.
And then this new data stack, or the like a more modern data stack, essentially has services for all of the things that they were doing in the second data stack. Where we were doing these things at home, and it's making it more accessible to the business again.
Exactly.
But now we have so many different players that it makes it a different problem, rather than, we can do it, but who should we choose to do this? And how does it fit into the rest of the infrastructure that we have?
Yeah. And I think some of the things that have caused that is the ease of getting a new product. Before, if you had to go and spend £10 million to go and get a number of vendors, there was a design up front that you performed and a cost justification. And with the ability for just the marketing department to go and pay as you go on their own credit card, one piece, or a lot of acquisitions or merging of companies or different departments doing different things, you create a much more complex environment much quicker. And I think what's happened now, especially with the downturn to some degree, is people are now questioning the value they're getting from what they're spending. And whereas before money was cheap and there wasn't much focus on it, it was all focused on growth, you throw people at the problem or throw another technology at the problem. And people haven't stepped back to look to say, okay, well, what's the right thing to do? I think Joe refers to himself as a recovering data scientist. I think now I refer to him as a recovering data architect or an architect. Architect's my passion, what I love doing, but it's a dying art, or it's a lost art to some degree. There's been too much focus on data engineers, and with great book, maybe these are fundamental data architectures, a new book that's needed. But with that focus on engineering, they need to have that architectural vision, that oversight, that direction, that path of where you're going. And with that, engineers won't go slightly in different directions. We'll stay on the correct path, and what you'll end up with is a product that's easier to support, probably more cost effective. I think something I refer to is what happened is when people start getting their bills in, they realize the cloud fairy wasn't paying the bill. Someone at the end of the day has actually got to pay your cloud computing bill, and just throwing a larger computer at a problem. Is it really worth the value you're getting out of that extra compute you're putting on it? Do you need to run it that frequently? We've gone stream crazy to some. We've got to go real time crazy to some degree. And I think another thing I refer to is that I talk the longest pole in the tent. So there's no point streaming to make a decision for all of the things if it doesn't become, you don't get all of the data points you need until the last poll gets in. And so there's no point streaming everything if you've still got to wait for one piece of the puzzle to come back before you can make that decision. Stream things collectively where they collectively add benefit when you can make an earlier decision because you've actually brought the data in quicker.